Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Lazy Lemon Creations podcast. You can find me on Instagram at Lazy Lemon Creations, and you can find me on Ravelry as Lazy Lemon. My name is Lindsay, and I live in the heart of the New River Valley with my husband and our 2 kids, and this is my podcast all about what I get up to with all of my yarn, some book stuff, some life stuff, but mainly just my knitting and my crochet. So let's go ahead and jump into this, and I will have everything that I talk about linked down below. So if you would like to see details about anything further, you can follow those links and it'll take you to my Ravelry page for any of that information, or to an Etsy shop if I've bought something. So you can check that out there as well. Alright, well, haven't been into the podcast, but not even a minute and a half. And I'm already getting text messages, so I'm going to set that over there. Hopefully I won't get any more disruptions. It is Wednesday, May 10th, and I didn't film at all in April, and I hate that. I really wanted to. I had sat down, I think twice, to write out the show notes for it, and I just said I don't have it in me, so I didn't. I didn't film. I wanted to, but I didn't. And a part of me is glad, because I wouldn't have had as much content if I would have filmed in April versus filming now, because now I have an entire month to show you guys stuff, and I do hope to pick it back up in May and have more content more regularly. Hold on one second. Felt something on my lip. During May, now that my church program on Wednesday nights is over, I will be able to film, and so I can film on Wednesday nights, I can edit on Thursdays, and then hopefully I can post on Fridays. I'm not going to hold myself to that standard, because I also was going to hold myself to a bi-weekly podcast, and that didn't work out either, so I'm not going to hold myself to any standard. But now that my Wednesday nights are open, I can definitely fill them with something, and my podcast brings me joy, so I might as well do that. We shall see if that works out. So first off, let's go ahead and bring up stats. Let's go ahead and talk about May stats, and then we'll get into whips and FOs and everything like that, because there's no change for what, sorry, I said let's talk about May stats. Let's talk about April stats, because April is the month that I didn't film anything in and y'all have no information on. So in the month of April, I had 0 grams for yarn in. I didn't buy any more yarn in April. I did have yarn gifted to me, but I did not purchase it. I did not purchase this yarn, and that's what I'm tracking. I am tracking the yarn that I bring into my stash, not yarn that falls into my stash. Thanks, Jennifer. No, that won't count, because I'm not going to count that like towards the end of the year for Christmas or anything like that. If family or friends give me yarn, that wasn't something anticipated for, and so I'm not counting it as my yarn in. But it will count to yarn out, because it's yarn that I used, so we'll get to that. But yarn in is 0 grams, and yarn out was 120 grams. I think this was my smallest amount of grams sent out the entire year so far, which granted, April is only the 4th month in, but yeah, 120 grams. So what that was socks. It was just 4 different socks that got sent out. They were all my Harry Potter Advent socks from 2021 that you'll see in the finished objects thread segment, and that's it. That's all that I finished in April. I didn't finish any of my blankets. I didn't even touch my cross stitch. Okay, it's so funny. After I filmed that podcast, haven't picked it back up since, and I'm okay with it. It brought me joy in the moment. It's not something I have the headspace for right now, so I'm not working on it, and I'm okay with that. So now we're into May, and so far we are 10 days in, and I haven't spent a penny for yarn, but I will go ahead and spoil it. I did buy some some acquisitions that are not here. I just purchased them this week. I bought a bag from Ginger Snap Fibers and I also bought some stitch markers. I finally decided to go ahead and man up and get my stitch markers for my project so that I can really take care of it. So I have that done. They are on their way. They are from Twin Mountain Handcrafts, who surprisingly is a neighbor. They're a neighbor to me, not a literal neighbor. They're not my next door neighbor, but I think we live maybe an hour and a half away from each other as far as city points go. So I think that's wonderful, and that makes me so excited. So for May, I don't have anything filled out yet because it's only the 10th day in. So we'll get jumping right in to, let's get those finished objects that I talked about, because those are the ones that I can go ahead and show you. And I will go ahead and tell you they are just the socks that I mentioned. So 1 second while I go ahead and grab those. I have so many socks here to show you guys that are my finished objects, and we will get into all of them one at a time. And I have the dates that I started and finished them on. I don't think I was mentioning that previously, but I only had 3 socks done previously, and I do not have the finish and start dates on my Ravelry page because this is just one big project on Ravelry. I guess I could go in and make an edit. I might do that in the notes and have each sock with the date that I started and finished them, because I do have every project that I am doing this year with its start date and its finish date, so I can keep track of how long something lingers. I do have more hair on my lip. I do have some whips that are a few years old, and I don't want that to continue if I can help it. So I'm going to start keeping track, and it actually helps me a lot to see the finish dates for these projects. So it's definitely motivating for me. But let's go ahead and jump into our finished objects and see what we have. So last podcast, this was my whip. It is Yarn Cafe Creations, the Order of the Phoenix. It was day 1. I had knitted up to see how much 20 grams actually is. And then I decided to actually turn this one into a sock. Right there is the true colors. A little bit of blue, a little bit of green. There's some flecks of like red and pink in here as well, along with some browns and oranges and stuff like that. The heel, toe, and cuff is made out of Yarn Cafe Creations biscotti yarn in Gothic Smoke. I love that yarn. It is so good. It's such a versatile color, and all of my heels, toes, and cuffs are made with that yarn. All of my socks are made on Weshareneedles 32-inch cable. It's a 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter, and I do magic loop for my socks. I do heel flap and gusset. I had to think for a second on what that heel is called. I do a heel flap and gusset, and that sock was started on the 13th of March of 2023, and it was finished on the 25th of March of 2023. So all the others were done prior to my podcast for the month of March, and then now we will get into everything finished from that sock all the way through the entire month of April and what we have working on now in May. So then the next sock that I had finished was started on March 14th of 2023, and it was finished on March 24th of 2023, and it's a beautiful blue. Oh my gosh, this sky blue is absolutely gorgeous. It's called Department of Mysteries. This one is dyed up by Dragon Horde Yarn, which is the second half of the advent calendar that I bought. It is a collaboration between Dragon Horde Yarn and Yarn Cafe Creations to do a year at Hogwarts. This was in the year 2021, and due to some of the names, I know that that was Hogwarts Year 5. They currently have Hogwarts Year 7 Part 1 available for signups. So I will add that link down below in case you want to join and get the advent. You don't have to make socks, but if you want to, you can do that. And to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to. Like, I love it. I love the project that I've made out of it. I've just noticed that minis aren't my thing. It's not that I don't like them, but this is all I'm gonna do with them. I'm not a shawl knitter. I do like cows. I do like to make some cows. COWLS. So I could use that, but I'm a sock knitter through and through. I'm gonna make socks and hats. So minis for me just get turned into socks, and that's not a problem because I found my solution. I just don't want to take away from someone who can make something grand out of it. And so I don't know if I'm gonna do it just yet. I don't know. Pre-orders are still open, so I still have a little bit of time left to think, but I need to make a decision quick. But yeah, this was the Department of Mysteries. Beautiful blue color. Again, same sock recipe for every single one of my socks. It's gonna be the exact same. And the next sock, I love this yarn. This one is called Creature. This one was started on March 25th of 2023, and it was finished on March 29th of 2023. So this sock, literally, I whipped out in 4 days. Oh, sorry, I'm not even showing it on camera. Again, I'm not good at this. I really like this sock. It's not as self-striping as it appears. It looks like it's self-striping, but it's really just the way the speckles line up. And oh my gosh, this colorway was amazing to work with. I love it so much. And actually, the Department of Mysteries and Creature I have already worn because I needed to wear them together. They were so soft, and the second I had Creature finished, I paired it up with Department of Mysteries and I wore them together. And I do not regret it. The next one that I had finished was called Dumbledore's Army. And it was started on March 31st. And it was finished on April 6th of 2023. And this one is called Dumbledore's Army. Oh, I don't know if the lighting's gonna work, but there we go. Deep, rich purple, some yellow, a little bit of blue sprinkled in there as well. But oh my gosh, this colorway, oh, I loved it so much. The yellow popped through. So on this half, which you're seeing the side of the sock, which isn't really how it's worn. It's actually more worn, I don't know if I can do this, kind of like this. Anyway, you get it. And the other half has like this big chunk of like yellow and blue, and this half has the big chunk of purple. But when you show the sock like a normal sock, you get to see both halves of it right there. And then the back, right at the heel, is where all the yellow is. It's where all the yellow pulled together. But I love it. I still love it. I'm still gonna wear these socks. I will wear all of these socks at some point throughout this year. That was Dumbledore's Army. The next sock on the list is Black Family Tree. This one was started on April 7th, 2023 and finished on April 13th, 2023. This is my best friend's favorite. She loves purple, and this one is just right up her alley. A little bit of pinkish red in there to kind of offset it. Blue and purple, and it's absolutely wonderful. Some flecks of like whitish cream in there. Gorgeous sock. Love it so much. Again, best thing I could have done with my Advent. I love it so much. It's perfect to me. Now we're getting into the socks that I remember finishing here recently. This one is called Luna Lovegood. It was started on April 13th and finished on April 21st. This one is my favorite. It's called Luna Lovegood, and orange is my favorite tone. So the orange, the pinks, the few little speckles of brown that are in there, and that makes my favorite sock. Just a warning, because I can hear them and I'm not sure if you can. My kids just got out of the bathtub. Daddy was doing bath time tonight. So if you can hear the kids upstairs, he's keeping them up there. They just got out of the bath, and hopefully will not come downstairs and disturb mommy, but who knows? It's a Wednesday night. We shall see. And then the last one that I have finished is Tonks. And so this one was started on April 22nd and finished on April 30th. And this one is just a whole bunch of blue. A little bit of dark, like black specks in there, but it's all different shades of blue. I'm sorry, I'm not even keeping it on camera. I apologize. I'm trying to read my notes. But I love it. I love this blue. It looks like the ocean to me, because like it has like a dark current and then the light current. Oh, I just love it so much. But this one is called Tonks. I never pictured Tonks as blue. Like in my head, and I guess it's because of the movie, but like I picture like the bubblegum pink hair and just cuteness, and so blue threw me off for a minute, but it's okay. It's not a problem. And then the last finished object I do not have anymore with me. It was my Musselburgh hat that I had made for my friend. It is now with her, and so I don't have that anymore, but it was a Felici Musselburgh. It was done in the colorway Summer Nights, and I had shown it on my last podcast, and I have a Ravelry page for it as well, so you can check out photos of it if you would like to see it. And that is all of my FOs. So the next thing here, let's go ahead and jump into my whips that I have. One that I will finish tonight that I haven't yet finished is another one of the Harry Potter socks. I'm on the toe, so I'm really close to finishing it. And this one is called The Boy Who Lies. And let's see if I can get that colorway to show up. There we go. A lot of dull pinks, browns, a little bit of like green in this sock, some flecks of orange, but that color right there is really true to what it looks like. It's absolutely beautiful, still as soft as can be, and then I have all my stitch markers to help me make every sock the same size. And so that'll finish tonight, and I already have the cuff for the next one that I'll be doing, which I actually have in its ball. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys what the sock looks like before it's a sock. So the yarn next that I'm working with, very bright. Ooh, let's see if that'll focus. There we go. It is very bright, very pink. Sorry, didn't mean to flip you off. And this one is I Will Have Order. It is very Dolores Umbridge, ready to go, and I'm excited to get that started tonight as well. That'll be after I get the kids in bed and I can sit down and just have a moment to myself. But I was feeling left out of, as sad as this is, of second sock syndrome. So all of these are just single socks, and I don't have to worry about making a second sock that matches up to it and looks the exact same, and do I have enough yarn? And it's a good feeling, but in this same instance, I was like, I want to make a pair of socks. So before I get to that, hold on. All of my Harry Potter Advent socks are currently in my Harry Potter bag. Look how cool it is. It is from Ginger Snap Fibers. It is a drawstring bag, so I can just cinch it up. It has a pocket on the inside. It has a little key ring that I have my stitch markers on so that I can just pull from them as I need to. And it has my big giant skein for my heels, toes, and cuffs. It has my new cuff in there. It has my current project in there, and it has the new ball ready to go as well. And so that bag is huge, perfect. I love it. I love all of her bags, and one of my new acquisitions is from her, and so I'm excited for that to come in the mail. It should be here soon, and I can't wait to show you. So the next project I have, as I get out the can of sunscreen that was in my bag, is a project by the Sexy Knitter. It's a project bag by the Sexy Knitter. It's one of the triangle bags. Let's see here if I can give it its glory, which I don't think I can. But yeah, yeah, it's just a little triangle bag. It's a great sock size, really tiny, has a great handle, and just really easy to go. The only thing is with this one, it has a metal zipper. I do have another one, and it's a Harry Potter bag. I probably should use that one too. And it has a plastic zipper, and I like a little more because my yarn doesn't catch in it as bad. And it's not a bad thing if the yarn catches, it's a scary thing if the yarn catches, because what if it rips? So what I'm working on in here is a sock. I haven't even weaved in the end that I have because it is a single color from heel, toes, and cuffs. But this colorway is called Venom. And yes, it is this bright in real life. It is very bright. I love it so much. I have one sock done, and I am on my way with the second one. I just have my needles wrapped up in some yarn just so that I don't poke through the bag. I was at T-ball last night, and so I needed to keep it safe from poking through the bag when all the kids would run up and need to switch out their helmets and stuff like that. And so I am through the gusset decreases, and so now it is just straight knitting from here until I finish the sock. And those were started on April 24th, so that was a Monday, and they have yet to be finished, and it is May 10th, and that is okay. And I needed that difference though. That's what I needed. And so I have that project bag. It's also on Magic Loop, the Weshareneedles, and that's just my sock recipe. 64 stitches, heel flap and gusset. So that is my whips. I've already showed you my FOs. I don't have anything else that I've worked on. I haven't touched my blankets. That's a lie. I have touched my waffle stitch blanket to finish out a row, and that's it. That's all I've done to it. So I haven't crocheted any. I've just been knitting. I've been sucked into the Advent knitting, and I love it. And I wanted to talk about what's coming up on the docket as far as my projects and stuff like that. So first off, this yarn that I teased at earlier is from Paper Crane Yarns. It is called Unicorns. It is a beautiful multicolor skein of yarn, hank of yarn right now, but it is beautiful. It is 75/25, and it is fingering sock, and this was bought for me by Jen, the Crafted Pearl on Instagram. I will link her below. She's my yarny best friend, and I just love that she thought of me and sent this to me. This is from her local yarn shop, and so it's the yarn shop closest to her, and I'm really thankful that she thought of me and sent that my way. So that's the one acquisition that I have to show. The rest are on the way, and they'll be in the next podcast. And so then I want to talk about what's on the docket, and it is May, and before we know it, it is gonna be June. And the biggest thing that happens in June for sock knitters is summer sock camp, and I am so excited. Clearly, because I have a pile of socks back there. My husband made the joke of, I have enough single socks that I could free all the house elves in Hogwarts, and not quite, but I'm getting there. I'm gonna do it. And I think that's really cute. I think that's a really cute name to give them, is that they're my freeing the house elf socks, because everybody needs a pair of socks, just like Dobby. So I love knitting socks, so I'm very excited for summer sock camp that's coming up in June, hosted by the crazy sock lady, Kay. And she's taking it back to the basics this year. It's just gonna be a knit along, and I love that for her. Do what makes you happy. And if setting up sponsors and spreadshirt shops and everything else like that brought too much stress, don't do it. Plain and simple, don't do it. Do what makes you happy, and just be the host of the amazing cow that it is, because that's what it was in the beginning, and we loved it for what it was. So I will be joining that. I'm very excited to join that. I am Magic Loop all the way, so let's go. Let's bring it on. The other thing that is coming this summer that will also start in June is the Knit All the Felici. I'll have that here on the screen, probably right there. Hashtag Knit All the Felici, hosted by 72 Stitches, which is Lisa. Her podcast is Knit All the Yarn. So she started this cow last year when Felici came out in June, and she ran it all summer long, and I thought it was amazing. I love it. I have cubes back here of Felici that I need to work on, and so now that I can make a hat, a Musselburgh hat with some Felici and socks, I'm going to power through my stash plus the yarn that I will be ordering when new colors come out, hopefully in June as well. So there is a lot of knitting coming. Yeah, bye-bye blankets, bye-bye cross stitch. From June to September, I'm busy. I'm just busy knitting socks. But that'll be coming up as well. And then I also was bitten by the cow bug last year, and I hosted a cow on Instagram, and it was called Fall for Felici. And I hosted it from September 21st until November 30th. And it's exactly 10 weeks. And I loved it. I loved being able to host a cow. I'm going to do it again this year. I'm going to revise the rules because last year, with it being my very first cow, I was very loose on my rules, which wasn't a problem. Nobody like abused the rules and like did things that were questionable or like, no, this doesn't count, but I'm gonna let it slide. No, it was nothing like that, but like to keep up with all of the rules. And so I'm just gonna simplify it this year and redefine what the rules are. So that'll be coming in the fall. That's hint the name, Fall for Felici. That'll be coming in the fall, and I will talk more about it as we get closer and as Lisa's Knit All the Felici ends and stuff like that. So don't worry, I'll keep you all posted on how that's going to grow. And that is it for all of my yarny content. I have no more yarn stuff to talk about. So let's get into some new loves that I have found. My daughter, as I mentioned, is now on the T-ball team, and I am so happy. My mommy heart is filled with joy because I played softball for years. I also played basketball and volleyball, but softball had my heart. Softball was the game that I love to play, so watching her play it and the joy that it brings her, just, it makes me so happy. And I try not to live vicariously through my kids. I want them to enjoy sports, but I want them to enjoy their sports. I'm not going to force them into a sport just because I played it. We've tried soccer. We've done swim lessons. We're going to keep up doing swim lessons, but also, and she wanted to do T-ball, and she absolutely loves it, and it just makes me so happy. So we are at the T-ball field 3 nights a week, and she loves it. I love it. Her brother could care less because he just gets to play in the dirt, so I guess he loves it too. But we are enjoying it. We are enjoying the sunshine in the summertime, so I am here for some T-ball. Let's bring it on. But being out in the field 3 nights a week, I did not need, let me correct myself, I did not need a new water bottle. But I had recently, for the past year and a half, I had had a lot of like the tumbler style water bottles that just had the open spout, and it came with a straw, and it was fine. But I was like, I want something that can close because I have 2 kids. They run around constantly, and I discovered the Owala water bottles. That might be backwards to you guys. Anyway, the Owala water bottle I have discovered, and it is amazing. I have seen this water bottle on the Weshareneedles podcast, and it is definitely worth the hype. I don't think it gets enough hype, to be honest. Like, people can have their $40 to $60 Stanley cups. Go ahead. This fits in my cup holder. It's insulated. It keeps my drinks cold. And the coolest thing about it is it's both an open spout and a straw in one. So I can tilt the bottle up, or I can just sip from it like a straw. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I don't like it when people drink on a podcast. Correction. I don't like to hear people drink on a podcast. I don't mind if they do at all. quench your thirst. I think that's a Gatorade slogan, but like, go ahead and drink if you need to drink. That doesn't bother me at all. But if every like 5 to 10 minutes I can hear you swallowing, it's just one of those things. It doesn't sit right with me, is to hear other people swallow consistently. Every once in a while it doesn't bother me, but just, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I have an Owala water bottle and I love it. I am so in love with that. It makes me happy. It keeps my water cold. It's only had water in it. I'm pretty sure I'd keep any drink cold, but it's definitely got me drinking more water, which is always a good thing. And so I'm very happy, and I am here to promote the Owala water bottles, and it is not a sponsor, but if they want to, I'm here for it. And then school is out in 14 days. We only have 14 days left of school, and I don't know what I'm going to do for the summer except keep them out of my house as much as possible, because it's going to be great. It's going to be beautiful. We live in the New River Valley, and so we get beautiful days. We live near a lake. By we live near a lake, it's within a 15-minute drive to us. And we also live near a lot of mountain trails, so we can go hiking. I don't hike, clearly, but we could if we wanted to. We have a lot of parks locally so that we can go to the park anytime we want to. And so all of that is on the docket for this summer. And so then the last thing is that I'm continuing to read The House of Night. I am on Destined right now, and I'm really close to being done. And so I've got Hidden right behind it, ready to go. Once I finish that series, I will be able to start my husband's series. I know he is looking forward to me starting that so that we can talk about it. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to it as well, because I love my husband and I like us having something in common together that we can talk about. But I wanted to show you guys something. I will try my best to link this below to the Etsy shop that I found it from, but it does come from China, so shipping is a long time. So please bear that in mind if you are interested in this. I have a book stamp. It is the coolest thing ever. I don't know if I can actually show you the plates that are in there, because I can, haha. No, I can't. Okay, I can take it apart though. But inside is a stamp. And what it makes, I'm going to show you guys on a piece of paper here, on a book page, because it's so cool. I got this for me and my best friend, and it is my favorite thing. So you literally just put it into the page of the book. This is just going to be on notebook paper, so I really hope that we can see what the stamp actually is. And then you stamp it down. I like to give it a good little push to make sure that it actually comes through on the paper. And then this, let me see if I can line it up perfect there. Okay, yeah, I can show you guys, but I can't see it. So there we go. It's in view. It says, "From the library of Lindsay Lemon," and it is a cat on a pile of books reaching for the moon. Can you see that? Is that not awesome? And it's just stamped on the paper. Like, it's not ripped through or anything like that. It's just stamped on the paper. How cool is that? I love this thing. So, as I'm reading my books, when I open a new one, I go and stamp it, because I decided to sit down and stamp my entire collection was going to take too long. So I'm just stamping the books as I read the books. And that way, I'll eventually know whether or not I've read a book by whether or not it has my stamp. And I can know whether or not my to be read pile is getting to be real big. So that's all. That's everything. That's all my whips. That's all my FOs. That's all my reading. Oh, watching. I have started watching How I Met Your Mother on Hulu. I have never watched it before, but I was told that I would enjoy it. I have started it. I have finished season 1, and I actually enjoy this show. Now, I have opinions about it, and I don't want to get my hopes up. But come on, Ted and Robin, how could they not be? But anyway, It is what it is. I know that she's Aunt Robin to the kids, so who knows? Who knows how it comes out, how it comes to play, but I've really enjoyed the show, and I'm excited to continue watching it and see how it develops from there. But I think that's it. I talked about everything today, and I did it without exploding. It's been such a month. And so here is to hoping I get this video posted really soon. Fingers crossed before Mother's Day. I don't know, editing Lindsay, tell me if I did it or not.
You did it.
But here's to hoping that I can film another podcast episode before the end of May. And I can see you guys again real soon. So this is me signing off, and I forgot how I'm supposed to end my podcasts. I guess that's what I get for waiting a month and a half to do another one. So I hope you guys have a great day. Be kind to one another. Wait, didn't Ellen say that? Be kind to one another. It's still true. Be kind. Like, don't be jerks. And yeah, y'all have a great one. Bye.